Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 462, and I am Brennan. UFC 313, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight title, as well as a banger of a co-main event. This pay-per-view is, oh man, I don't know. There's not enough fights on it. Oh man, I was about to give it my seal of approval for like purchasing post results just to go watch the fights, but I mean, I don't think there was necessarily a bad fight. There was a less than stellar one, that's for damn sure. And the main event didn't exactly deliver as far as excitement goes, but it was a very good fight. So I maybe just wait. But very, very good fights though. Not disappointed at all. If you like, we're gonna talk about all the fights in the main card here, break them down round by round. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way, you know the next video is coming out, and I'd really appreciate it. Let's get into it, because title fights that go the distance tend to take a while to cover. So, all right. Pretty standard affair in the first round. It looked like Pereira's, at least early in the first round, it looked like Pereira's pressure, the fact that he was able to land those low kicks, and it looks like he was going to just have a standard Alex Pereira fight. Right? Land those low kicks to the lead leg. Ankalaev just not finding much success through the first 2 minutes. You know, he landed a couple leg kicks himself. The leg a leg kick battle, if that's your goal, like if that's your strategy, I just don't think that's a path to victory that the Ankalaev team was going for. So Ankalaev was able to slowly start to apply pressure, shoots in and got some control in the clinch as at the end of the round. But you know, this is clearly Pereira's round. He outlanded him here 16-9, a lot of those being from those leg kicks. In fact, Pereira didn't land a single headshot this entire round, which might have spelled his doom as we go forward. We'll talk about it, because in that third round, a pivotal third round, he kind of, man, I don't know. We'll talk about when we get to it. All right, so 10-9, clearly Pereira's first round. It takes the first round. Second round here. If Ankalaev can withstand those low kicks, though, and keep the pressure on, he did see some success later in that round. So that's what I was looking for him to do, and that's exactly what he did. He went to the body with the jab, keeping the pressure on. Ankalaev started digging to the body with front kicks. He landed a couple of those early in the first round, but this one then lands a push kick, pushes Pereira across the cage. He's keeping up with the striking output. In fact, he outstrikes him this round. Ankalaev counters a high kick with a hard left hand and another one, a lead hook. Beautiful stuff. Pereira just isn't as active this round. He's fallen behind, hasn't gone to the legs nearly as much this round. And on top of that, the round ends with Ankalaev doing a step back when Pereira, I don't remember if he landed the low kick or if he feinted the low kick and failed, and he was mid-step, and Ankalaev comes back with a huge left-hand counter, staggers him. I don't say nearly finished. That's baloney. We don't know that. Staggers him, hurts him real bad, starts to land some follow-up shots, and then the round ends. So clearly his round, outstriking him 29-18. Ankalaev having a beautiful round. That's what I was looking for at the end of that first round. If like his path to success was going to be this, and that's exactly what he did. He was winning the round even before that shot landed. Third round here, Ankalaev mixing it up well, still attacking that outside with those kicks to the legs and the body. A bit of a pause in the middle of the round. Both guys back to feeling outranged, not a ton of activity. Pereira doing a better job this round, digging to the legs, not able to stay off the warning track, but mainly kicking off of defensive. And then, a great jab from Ankalaev, staggers Pereira yet again. This was a close round. And here's the thing. Look at the amount of leg kicks here. 15 leg kicks from Pereira. And Ankalaev showed no ill will. Now, I don't think he outstruck him too. Alex Pereira outstruck him 21-17. Now, early in this round, as the round went on, it looked like Pereira was getting the better of the exchanges just because he was backing up and kicking the legs. But the most damaging shot was a jab from Ankalaev that staggered Pereira. And yes, you can go back and forth about which one is it's all. Here's the thing: instantaneous damage always trumps cumulative damage. This was a very close round. If you gave it to Pereira, I understand. In the moment, I was leaning towards Pereira, and then I instantly thought, the pressure was all on. Even the damage might have been damn near even because Pereira did outstrike him, but Ankalaev landed the biggest strike, doing the most damage, coming closest to finishing in that round, even though he wasn't close to finishing. That's just the grading mechanism that they use. I gave this round to Ankalaev. Very, very close round, though. Okay, fourth round here. So I had it 29-28 in favor of Ankalaev, but it could have gone either way. Okay, Ankalaev right into the clinch, landing shots to the body, into the head, and Pereira separates, and then Ankalaev right back in his face into the clinch. And Mark Goddard separates them. Ankalaev was doing enough work. He was clearly changing. He was going up and down. He was going for he's going for single leg attempts in there. He didn't get any of them, but that's activity, right? He's actively trying to advance the fight. He's hitting him in the clinch. I thought the stoppage, he warned him while he was punching him, and then he separated while he was punching him. And yes, each one of those shots isn't damaging enough to end the fight, but he was more than active. He was really bad separation, giving Pereira a break. It was inconsequential though. Pereira, it was really tired. He was on his bike a little bit at the end of this round. Great round for Ankalaev. Lots of control time. If you look at the striking numbers here, 19-7 in favor of Ankalaev. Clearly his round. He didn't get hit in the head once this round. A very, very good round for him. All right, and then the last round here. So again, there's a little bit of controversy just because of the scoring. We'll look at the scorecards afterwards. Pereira's actually pressuring this round. At least he started that way. Gets past those front kicks, but then Ankalaev keeps the distance. So he'll get past the front kicks. Ankalaev will back up and then kick him in the body again. Ankalaev landed a hard right hand, and Pereira landed a decent left hook. Now that right hand is consequential, and we'll talk about it when we get to the end. I keep saying that, but there's a lot to unpack in these close rounds. So Pereira thinks he landed a huge head kick, which he kind of did. But when the second he moved in, Ankalaev stood his ground and countered and then pushed back. So if you go say, oh, that head kick was clearly the most damaging shot, maybe, but the reaction was none. And whether Ankalaev was hurt or not, there's no way you could tell me for sure. And Pereira was having a lot of success with a couple jabs. Ankalaev gets into the clinch again, but he needs to land some shots down the stretch. This round was very hard to score. Pereira landed in the middle of the round, landed that big head kick. He landed some good shots in there. But the beginning of the round was Ankalaev, and the end of the round was Ankalaev. And, he did enough. He did a lot of damage. Like, Ankalaev outlanded him here 20-14, but a lot of that was to the body. The body shots were 6-2 in favor of Ankalaev. Now, do I think any one of those body shots outdo some of the stuff that Pereira threw back at him? I don't think so. Those headshots from Pereira were pretty damn big. Ankalaev, like I said, he had one good headshot this round. A very close round to call. I gave it to Pereira, so yeah, I had it 48-47 in the final, but here's the thing. You could also give this round to Ankalaev because what I said, right? The beginning and the end were Ankalaev's, and if you think the damage was relatively close or so close to call that you can't just give it clearly in one direction, then you go to the second tier, which is control, and that was all Ankalaev. So, Ankalaev ends up coming away here, getting the unanimous decision. I think he did win, right? I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. Looking at scorecards here, Mike Bell and Derek clearly both had it the same way I did. First and last round going to Pereira, and the middle rounds going to Ankalaev. And then Saul D'Amato had the last 4 rounds for Ankalaev. I don't think that's a bad scorecard either. I think that the commentary was biased in favor of Pereira. I think that the UFC building Pereira up like that makes it very difficult for the commentary team, especially because Ankalaev has very little hype on him. It makes it hard for the commentary team to get that out of their head and, get rid of that unconscious bias. So if go watch it again with no commentary on, if you think that Pereira clearly won this, go back, watch with no commentary, and really look at it and watch it again. Like, analyze it, sorry, not just watch it again. Analyze it for yourself if you disagree. But I thought that Ankalaev won. I don't think it should be a controversial win. I think it was a close fight, but it shouldn't be controversial. This night started out with some very controversial decisions, so we will get to those in the prelim video. Overall, great fight, fun to watch. Yes, Ankalaev slowed things down. That's a way he found his way to victory, and Pereira bitched about it afterwards, which is never my favorite. Even as a fan, go ahead and bitch. You guys, sure. Me, I have no problem when fans bitch about grappling. Absolutely. go for it. It's an entertainment product. If you're not entertained, then it's not a good product for you. So go ahead, complain. And I don't mean that facetiously. I'm not being a turd. I mean that honestly. It's okay to complain about that stuff. And the UFC wants to make changes, then they're more than welcome. But as a fighter and as a path to victory, like, you can't just bitch about it. You can't just complain like, oh, well, if people are going to hold me and clinch me, like, that's going to incentivize other people to do that. What do you mean incentivize other people to do that? You mean incentivize other people to win, to find a path to victory instead of just getting in a slugfest with you and losing brain cells for no fucking reason? That is the most 1998 bullshit thing I've ever heard, right? That is like old school UFC crap, stuff from the mid 2000s. Like, oh man, you're just going to sit there and hold me. I hate when fighters complain about that shit. If he thinks he did more damage, he should go back and watch this as well, because he got not only outstruck in a round for sure, but he was backing up, landed low kicks, and did not land a single head strike in one of the rounds. So talk about damage, and then you tell me. And then, again, the leg kicks. Ankalaev had no ill effects, walking completely fine, pressuring completely fine, barely. I don't think that changing stances was to defend against the leg kicks. I think he was changing stances. He would switch his stance so that he could switch stance mid combo or mid strike, and allows him to close more distance, which he did use to pretty decent effect in a couple rounds. So the commentary team was, determined to just find something. They were determined to find. Oh, my light isn't on. Determined to find something to give to Pereira, and the fact that he was landing those leg kicks usually leads to something, but it just didn't here. So anyway, that is it. No more on that main event. Let's look at the rankings real quick, because I'm not a fan of giving him an immediate title shot. The dude has had. He had a squeaker to get the belt to begin with, and yes, he beat other people definitively, but we have some other exciting fights that I'd love to see. Yuri Prochazka has not fought Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz, the rematch with Ankalaev would be fun. Jamal Hill would be fun in there. Rakic again. Carlos Alberg. All these guys. This will be fun. Give them a win. Let them get a win and get into position, because Yuri can just jump in and fight for a title now. I'm happy with that. Have Pereira move up to heavyweight or whatever the hell he wants to do. I just I've never been so excited to watch him fight. I think that he's had his moments, and he's had some pretty good matchups and some fun fights, but there's a lot of really interesting talent, a lot of people coming up. Let's throw them into the fray and let them fight it out. All right, moving on. Holy shit, I just spent a long time on that, but it was a title fight, so I told you. All right, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Holy shit. I mean, I had somebody ask me about this fight beforehand, and based off their first fight, I thought that Fiziev was going to make some adjustments. I thought that he landed some really clean shots. He found some really good success in their first fight, and I thought he was going to be able to make some changes. Now, I guess in my head, I didn't take into account the 12 days notice that he wasn't able to fully game plan for Gaethje, and I think that would have played a part. I think that would have made a difference in this fight. But we don't know. Those are all what ifs, and all we can go off is what the fight we saw. And the first round was relatively slow. Right, slow measuring start. Fiziev staying out of range with the kicks and waiting. Very patient. Fiziev catching a low kick, gets a takedown himself, which is kind of odd. They get right back up. Fiziev goes for the takedown yet again. He gets pushed off. They end up in a modified. He ends up with a modified reverse triangle where he's mounted a mounted reverse triangle. Gaethje wasn't any danger. He was just being controlled in that position, and Fiziev was able to rain down some ground and pound to the body from there. Fiziev really changing his strategy, staying on the outside here from the first fight, right? Just trying to win on numbers, and he was doing a good job. Gaethje just not able to get into range for the first half of this round. Fiziev digging kicks to the body. In the clinch, he's going knees to the body. Just a really smart fight from him. Fiziev has, his face. So he's gotten some he had some cuts on his face. He had some blood. He was kind of getting beaten up. His face did look worse than Gaethje's at the first round, and a very technical first round, and relatively boring for a Gaethje fight. I said relatively. Fiziev clearly won it. Outstruck him here 21-12. Very smart round. Smart strategy. 10-9. Second round, Fiziev kicks him in the nuts. That's how we start that round. Gaethje finds more success, but having a real issue trying to corral Fiziev for sustained damage, right? He was able to pressure in, land a shot, but then Fiziev would exit, and he wasn't able to really sustain moments of damaging shots. And then, as the round started to wear on, Fiziev, doing great body work at range, but Gaethje doing a good job in tight with those hooks over the top. And he's going, landing that uppercut, and then Gaethje drops him with an uppercut near the end of the round, finishes the round on top, landing some ground and pound. Fantastic round for him. 21-17 for striking numbers in favor of Gaethje. Obviously, that big knockdown would have outdone anything Fiziev did this round anyway. 19-19 going to third, all locked up. Really, who's going to put it together in this last round, make their adjustments? And Fiziev having some great success with the kicks to the body and following up, and Gaethje landing a head kick in tight, and then in tight landing those hooks, and then Gaethje separates and then throws from a clinch, throws a head kick. So cool. Very close first half of the round. Fiziev's face is really beaten up yet again. Gaethje controlling in these clinches. Gaethje lands a huge head kick. And then at range, and then he starts putting it on him at the end of the round. That really separated him because the striking numbers were relatively close up until then. 39-30 in favor of Gaethje, taking it. I had it 29-28, and then Gaethje says to Fiziev, both on the mic, but then before that, he was like I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of yours for life. Let's never fight again. And and he also in the interview said he thought his hand was broken. Still fought through that. So. No surprises on the scorecards here. Ben Cartledge, Chris Lee, and Ron McCarthy all got it right. First round to Fiziev, and then the next two rounds to Gaethje. Looking at the lightweight division here, Justin Gaethje was number 3. Fiziev stepped up on short notice. I do not think that this should drop him. I really hope this doesn't drop him for taking this on 12 days' notice. I think he should stay at 11. I don't think this affects the rankings here. Leave it. I know Dan Hooker was supposed to be in this fight. Maybe match up Fiziev with Dan Hooker. You could always do Gaethje versus Hooker, but really, again, I didn't think Gaethje was going to be able to sustain this success. I thought that he was, going to kind of fall off after that Max Holloway knockout, and Gaethje puts himself right back in title contention. I think that him versus Islam Makhachev would be fun. After Saryukian getting injured, I think if they need someone to step up and fight, I think he's a good option. I think Max Holloway needs another win. I would like to see Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker. I think that would be a fun matchup. Poirier versus Holloway for the rematch. That would be fun too. That'd be the trilogy. Holloway versus Oliveira. I think they fought before too. Back at 145. I think there's lots of fun matchups here, and Gaethje again keeping himself in title contention in title talks. I don't know if that really does it. Because I know they're trying to do the one, what's his face vacated his freaking 145 belt. Topuria wants to step up and fight him for the title. So anyway, fun fight. Definitely watch it whenever you get a chance. It's just like every other Gaethje fight. Very fun to watch. Worth your time. All right, Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. On the feet, I thought it would be interesting to see Jalin Turner take on a guy who's just as tall as him. Same with Bahamondes. Both guys starting strong, mixing it up. Both guys defending really well. Bahamondes goes for a half-ass takedown and then rolls into pulling guard, and I was like, oh, that was weird. And then Turner doesn't he does this weird movement on the ground. He doesn't try to pass guard or pull his arms. He leaves his head and his arm inside, just setting up the triangle for himself. And then Bahamondes locks up the triangle and gets a tap. Beautiful finish by Bahamondes. Great. The kid can grapple too. At least he's got some submissions off his back. Having those long legs and going against a guy who's also long and skinny, you can find those finishes a little bit easier. They don't got big necks or big shoulders. All right, Amanda Lemos versus Iasmin Lucindo. All right, this is the fight that I was mentioning at the beginning of the video. This was not the most exciting. You look at the striking numbers here, a total of 3-0, 7-0, and 4-2 in the last round. So real barn burner in the third round. We'll try to speed through this one. There's not much to talk about here. Not much landing early. Lemos with the hard low kick. Lucindo pressing into the cage. Not much there. Lemos gets a takedown. She's on the top for the rest of the round. 2 minutes and 40 seconds of control time for Lemos. Clearly her round. She outstruck her 3-0. Whatever. Lemos looks cleaner on the feet. Picture strikes and making Lucindo come to her as Lemos keeps the center, but Lucindo gets a kick, gets kicked in the leg, and then goes clinch and tries to get a takedown, but gets taken down herself, and Lemos on top again, landing 7-0 in this round and having 3 minutes and 41 seconds of control time. Last round, Lucindo starts this round kind of crazy. Finally able to get a takedown of her own at 4:35. Eventually, Lemos gets back on top until the end of the round. And they ended the round 5 seconds early. They didn't fight for the full 5 minutes. I'm curious to see if that scorecard, if anybody else gave. I gave Lucindo that last round too. Okay, makes sense. Mike Bell, Sal D'Amato, Ron McCarthy also all have it the right way. 29-28. All right. And then this one was kind of hard to watch. Bobby King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Hoofy? It's Hoofy. He's Brazilian. I don't know. Sometimes they're not. All right. Hoofy looking for that front kick to start and keeping Green on the warning track. Green just can't reach him with the hands, only able to land kicks, which is not his game, not able to put the pressure on, not able to really fire out that constant offense that he likes to use. Ruffy staggers him with the right hand, and Green comes back with his own. That was some good offense. I mean, the striking numbers at the end were 4-4. I mean, it was competitive. It was going to be fun. I was excited for it. And then a spinning kick out of nowhere lands to the side of the head of Green as Green rotates and just knocks him clean out. Face first, I think he hit the ground, hit the canvas, and that caused his nose to break because he came up with a bloody nose, and he definitely didn't get kicked in the nose. So unless it was from a punch earlier, that was rough to watch. But yeah, all right, that's it. Oh, we managed to keep it under 25 minutes. Okay, if you like this kind of thing, awesome. Subscribe to the channel, like I said at the opening, just the way you know the video is going to come out. If you did like this video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that too. And then also, I'm doing the prelim video like I usually do. That'll be in the next one. I'll cover all the prelims there. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Let me know what you guys thought about the fights. If you did watch them, are you going to go watch them now that I've talked about them? Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing week. Love y'all.